Hi, my name is Jan Fiolka with the Atchison Planetarium and Cranbrook Institute of Science. In our Michigan skies right now, located very close to the planet Venus, at least as seen from Earth, is a beautiful little star cluster. Its official name is the Pleiades, but we also do have a kind of nickname for it. We often refer to it as the Seven Sisters, or if you lived in Japan, you'd be referring to it as Subaru. If you've ever been behind a Subaru vehicle, you may have noticed a little pattern of stars on the trunk. That's the little cluster that this pattern represents. And when you look at it with your eyes, you can usually see about 5 or 6 stars. In fact, the name Seven Sisters almost implies that there maybe are 7 stars there, perhaps one sister for every star, or one star for every sister. But in reality, we know there's actually about 1,000 stars in this cluster. So it really is a glorious sight. Even if you have a small pair of binoculars or a telescope at home, if you take a look at it, you can actually see about 35 to 40 of those stars. So it's really a glittering sight when you look at it with binoculars or a telescope, but it's also very nice to look at with your eyes as well. And the planet Venus really provides a great way for you to find it in our western skies at the current time. In photos of the Pleiades, like what you see here, you can see many of those stars are actually bathed in these beautiful blue clouds or halos. At one time, we thought those clouds were actually the leftovers of a once much greater cloud, such as the Orion Nebula, out of which these stars were formed. But we know that all stars move through the Milky Way and other galaxies as well, so we've come to realize that these stars are just floating through an unrelated field of interstellar dust and gas. These stars, though, are mere babies. They're only 100 million years old. Sounds old in human terms, but when you consider our sun is 4.5 billion years old, 100 million does sound considerably younger. When you look at the Pleiades in our night sky, you're really seeing them as they actually looked about 400 years ago, because this cluster of stars is actually 400 light years away from Earth. And so what that means is when you look at those stars, you're really seeing them as they appeared 400 years ago, because it's taken light traveling at 186,000 miles a second, or 7.5 times around the Earth in a single second, 400 years to make the journey from those stars to reach our Earth. This is very true for all the objects in the sky. You're always seeing them as they looked in the past. Our moon, 1.25 seconds ago. The sun, 8 minutes ago. The Pleiades, 400 years ago. So that is really amazing to think that you're really seeing them as they looked in the past. But a beautiful little star cluster that you can see in our Michigan skies right now, very close to the planet Venus as seen from Earth.